Good afternoon and welcome to this afternoon's webinar. We have a treat in store with stART Osceola, a springboard for creative minds. And today's session is brought to you by the Florida Alliance for Arts Education, and we are working in collaboration with the Art Schools Network, and we're delighted to welcome the Art Schools Network to this webinar. Thank you all for joining us. I'm Mary Palmer. I'm your program host, and I have really a very exciting program to share with you. I've been here at the St. Cloud High School in St. Cloud, Florida for the last couple of days and watched this program in action. And I know that, like me, you are going to be excited to see what's happening in this program. The program's in its 5th year of operation, and we this year have 170 students. You're going to be able to ask questions or make comments as you are watching this webinar, and if we don't get a chance to answer those questions during the webinar, we will follow up with you. So please type in your questions. Go to the question box on the webinar control panel in order to put your questions in that particular space. So in the 5th year of this program, there are 170 students participating. And on this slide, you see all of the schools from which these students are studying. And so there's a huge number of different schools that are a part of the program. These kids group and regroup by their art major, by their age, or in multi-age grouping, so they really get to know each other as well. And we're very excited that there are 10 Juilliard-trained teaching artists here with us for this program. It's a college-level performing arts workshop that is facilitated by these amazing students from Juilliard. It's a comprehensive program and it encompasses all arts disciplines. And it's a meeting place for these college students from Juilliard and to share their different artistic skills and talents in all of the arts with these young artists from Osceola County is a very inspiring thing to see. So we're going to hear a little bit about how this program transforms lives. The first person that we're going to hear from today is Kristen Wisling, and Kristen is the mother of Anna, and you see Anna in this photo holding the world, and perhaps on this day was the beginning of her holding the world in the palm of her hand. So Kristen, welcome. We're delighted to have you with us today, and we want to hear Anna's story. Are you there, Kristen? While Kristen is tuning in to us, I'll tell you a little bit about her. She's a photographer, and she's a professional photographer, and the photo that you see here and many of the photos that you're going to see today are Kristen's photos. So that's just such a wonderful contribution to the program, and we really appreciate that. Here's Kristen.
Hi, Mary. Sorry about that. Thank you.
Kristen, we lost your voice.
Lost her.
Mary, I suggest possibly she goes to one of the other rooms, or there she is.
Okay. Sorry about that.
That's okay.
Anna's story really began in 3rd grade when we moved from Ohio to Florida. And she went from being a very popular child to a child who sat in the corner and didn't talk to anyone. And at the end of her 4th grade year, she came home from school and said, "Mom, I'm just breathing, I'm just taking up space. I'm so sad, I'm so upset because I just don't really exist at school." And that's just devastating to hear as a parent, especially when we knew Anna to be such a vibrant child. And fortunately for us, the stART Arts Intensive came to Osceola County that summer. And Anna was selected by her arts teacher to participate. And it was an absolutely transformational experience for her, which started on the first day. She came home from the first day of the intensive, and she was walking around our house, and she was saying, "This is my couch, this is my living room, this is my house." And my husband looked at me and he said, "What happened to her? Where did she come from?" And she said that it was from an exercise they had done at camp, but the smile on her face was priceless, and the confidence in which she carried herself had just absolutely shot through the roof after just one day. By the end of the 2 weeks, it had completely taken hold, and she has never been the same, thank goodness. And she's been incredibly fortunate to maintain close contact with several of the teaching artists who came that first year and who have come in subsequent years. Last summer, she was the assistant to the costume designer for the world premiere of Charles Mee's The Four Seasons in Manhattan, which was directed by one of the student teachers that came the first year. And that was an incredible experience for her. And last summer when we were living in Manhattan, Riley, who you'll hear from later, connected her with an amazing flute teacher, Lucas Pino, who helped Anna, go to the next level with her flute, which she was inspired to play by Riley. And she maintains close contact with Marcus and Casey Hawk, who was a dancer the first year, and they have just completely enriched her life and showed her that the world is just right there, and you should dream as big as you can dream. And it's just been amazing for both of us, and I've watched that transformation through my lens each year, and it's just incredible.
That is a fantastic story, Kristen, and I know that you are thrilled that this change has happened for Anna and in Anna. I love what you said about the idea that this has been ongoing, the relationship that she has formed with so many of the professional teaching artists that have been a part of this program. So, Kristen, thank you so much. Great to hear about this program. And now we're going to turn to the co-founder of the program, Nina Cochran. And Nina is now the drama coach here at St. Cloud High School, but she started as a regional theater person with the Missouri Repertory Theater. Later she moved to New York, and she found her niche, teaching, and we are so glad that she did, and also creating new works. And in New York City, producers backed her in her own company that she called Bread and Circus, and I'm sure there are a lot of stories about that. She has worked professionally and in educational theater for the past 34 years, including being the faculty director, instructor, and director for the Perry Mansfield Performing Arts School and Camp that many of our teaching artists have actually participated in. Nina is celebrating her 14th year of working in Osceola County, and I know that they are celebrating right along with her. She has a real sense of community and commitment to the arts, and this passion has driven her in her work. She co-founded this program with Evan Todd, and you see Evan and Nina pictured here in New York. And Evan is a graduate of the Juilliard School who originally came from Kissimmee, Florida, where he attended the Osceola County School of the Arts and then graduated from the North Carolina School of the Arts. He has originated a number of important roles on Broadway. He's even produced a show of his own. He has had an amazing start to his professional career, so I know you're going to want to remember the name Evan Todd. Nina is going to share with us a little bit about her inspiration, along with Evan, for starting this program. So Nina, these photos of your experience when you started the program are just inspiring, and I recognize some of these people because of meeting them here. So Nina Cochran, we would love to hear from you.
Hi there. Well, thanks for having me. Yes, I think it just goes back to connection, as you said, and looking at the two puzzle pieces in the opening shots is what this program has all been about. Coming to know Evan in 6th grade and working with him through 6th, 7th, and 8th grade as a middle school teacher, and then following him through high school, through the performing arts, through his move to North Carolina School for the Arts, and then helping with auditions to get to Juilliard and understanding what his vision was. So that connection then came into, when this all began, a phone call from him when he was in New York saying, because of his work in Juilliard and because of his connection to Professor Polisi, I'm sorry, that the sense of artist as citizen really took root. So he called and said, I want to come back to my hometown and I want to start a program and I want it to be an intensive and I want to bring Juilliard people. So how can we get this done? So literally that phone call started the whole element. And from that point on, the puzzle began. And so what I had to do was a 360 turn to say, who are the people, who are the other puzzle pieces, who are the players that I need to get connected to this project. And it became very clear to me that if we were going to really make an imprint and create a enduring puzzle, that I had to get community support, that I had to go to the superintendent, that we had to talk to principals and schools. We knew we had the children, but then I had to find those people that I could get to buy in to put their puzzle piece into the main picture. And so that was that was my duty. The main thing that I really believe that works in this is that I bring what we call the O team, the Osceola team, which is a collection of artists that work shoulder to shoulder with the J team or the Juilliard team that come in. And that really is the basis for the puzzle.
And that O team and that J team come together in such a beautiful way, and I can tell that your leadership and your passion for this has been an ongoing thing. And you know, I want to give a shout out to your great husband, Randy, who I know has been right with you in making this program successful. Randy is the Technical Theater and Facilities Director here at St. Cloud High School, and I know that he contributes a lot to making this program and so many of the other wonderful programs that you're doing be successful. So Nina, thank you so much for sharing with us. Well, you know, you can tell just by what we've heard so far that it takes a village to make a program like this work. And a part of that O-Team village that really is now the START Osceola team is Debbie Famey. Debbie was an elementary music teacher for 20 years, and now she serves as the Fine and Performing Arts Resource Teacher for the Osceola School District. She is the past president of the Florida Elementary Music Educators Association and of the Central Florida ORC chapter, and she currently is the awards chair for the Florida Music Educators. She was the County Teacher of the Year in 2008 and was selected of one of 5 state finalists for Teacher of the Year. She is Teacher of the Century and just doing such amazing work in bringing the community together to support this and so many other arts education programs here in Osceola County. And so Debbie, would you talk with us a little bit about how you bring this village together to make it all work?
I certainly would love to share that with the world. I love to talk about this project, and it certainly has taken a village to build and sustain the program each year in Osceola County. But the wonderful thing is that once our sponsors have experienced the project firsthand, they become truly invested and committed in it. The trick has been to try to communicate and help folks understand the value of the program, which has been actually in its 5 years operating under 3 different superintendents right now. It's really hard to sufficiently explain the program to others. It's almost like beyond words, and my best bet is to get folks here on campus to actually experience it. Once we do that, our sponsors see the benefits in action, and they're just totally sold on the investment we're making into our students. So to give you a very brief overview of how we've done this, Evan Todd was the recipient of the Juilliard Summer Grants Program run by the Office of Student Affairs out of Juilliard. And it quickly became obvious to us that we would need supplemental funding beyond that grant in order to expand the project to include all the elements that we were envisioning. So we turned to the School District of Osceola County for additional funding, and that would help us to bring in our own, what we call the O-Team, the district arts teachers, into the program. And with their belief, with the district's belief in arts education and the amazing opportunity that this program could bring to our students, they worked really hard to find the funds during some of the very lean years Over the past 5 years, we've had tremendous budget cuts, but yet they believed in the program and found the funding. Since its inception, as I mentioned earlier, we've been through 3 different superintendents, all who have believed in what we're doing and have continued to support this project in a very significant way. It's also always been our goal to provide this program to deserving students basically free of charge. In this way, we're able to really reach the students that truly have the passion and determination to be a part of such an intensive summer camp. After that first year, we became even more committed to assuring that we would have funding to continue without charge to the participants. I should point out that we have enjoyed the backing of 3 different school sites who have generously donated their space to us free of charge. If we had to pay for that, the cost would definitely have been prohibitive to the program. I've got to give a shout out to Horizon Middle School, Bella Lago Academy, and our current home for this summer and last summer, St. Cloud High School, for opening their doors and hosting the program over the past 5 years. This in-kind donation is invaluable to the success of our program. Every year the program grows, we keep having more dreams, and so we have continually sought additional funds. By year 3, our community was beginning to hear the buzz about the special project, and we've had some local businesses who have stepped up with raffle prizes to help us raise funds, but a huge step forward in ensuring the stability of the program in year 3 was our Education Foundation of Osceola County. They chose to become our partner. They have provided us a substantial grant annually, and they are allowing us to house our account under their organization. So you see we have some wonderful benefactors. You see a page there with some of the people who have helped along the way, and we continue to seek additional funding sources as the program grows and evolves, and we do have a spot on our stART Osceola website where folks can go to help if they would like.
Well, this is definitely an investment that a lot of people will be interested in, because we can really see that you're changing lives here, and that this is just such an exciting opportunity for the students. Well, I imagine by now you're kind of wondering what actually is happening in this program, and we have just the young man to tell us about it. Marcus Crawford Guy is actually from rural Scotland, and you will love his accent as I do. He's a recent graduate of the drama division at Juilliard in New York City, and he has just finished so many interesting works. One of them is an interactive production of the Russian folktale Firebird at La Mama Kids. He won Best Actor in the 2014 West Village Musical Theater Festival for his performance as Prince Ikea in Wicked Frozen, a musical parody mashup. He is very interesting in that he recognizes that a career in the theater or in the arts can become a very ego-driven life, and he is balancing that by becoming actively engaged as a contributor to his community and to the world. And he is engaged not only in this program, but also the Arusha Arts Initiative, and this is his 4th year here in Osceola County. Well, at Juilliard, they recognized Marcus's leadership and commitment with the Joseph W. Palisi Artist as Citizen Award. And those of you that don't know Joe Palisi as the president of Juilliard, his book, Artist as Citizen, is one that you probably want to put on your summer reading list. And when you do, think about Marcus Crawford Guy and this great program. So Marcus, welcome, and let us hear a little bit from you about what happens in this program behind the scenes and how we got to where we are with this program. Marcus.
Thank you very much for having me, Mary. It's really appropriate that you pose the question that way, because 2 years ago when I started to take the reins on this program, the question that we posed to the students during the program was, how did I get here? And I'm sitting here just now listening to everyone talking, asking myself the same question. We come down every year and we audition some 300 kids for just over 150 spaces on our program, and we're auditioning in 6 majors. That's dance, visual art, drama, instrumental, choral, and tech. So we're really covering all bases there. We bring down 10 teaching artists from Juilliard who are so eager to come down here, and that's really been an incredible gift this year, to have my friends approach me at school, people that I don't know, asking how they can become involved in this program. So we tell our students on day one, you know, we're operating on a horizontal plane. Everyone has equal share in this program, and we really mean it. The students learn from us, and we learn just as much from them. The program operates on 3 distinct levels. The first is this major that the students audition and are accepted in. We want to give them as much intensive training in that field as possible so that they can take that back into the classroom when they go back to school in the fall and really work with new skills, new ideas, and share them with their classmates who, for any number of reasons, couldn't attend the program. We then have all students cycle through a number of classes on a pretty rigorous schedule. We have the students split up by age, and they rotate through classes in movement, in dance, in acting, in improv, and games. And we really want them to begin to make connections with other artists and to realize that while we all are very facile in our chosen major, there are things that we can learn from doing other things that will help us when we go back to the theatre rehearsal or the band rehearsal. And then finally, at the end of the day, we bring all of our students together in groups that we like to call creativity groups. And we're asking students to come up with a common language where they can create an interdisciplinary arts piece that will make up our culminating performance at the end of our workshop. It's important to recognize that interdisciplinary work is really a brand new thing, even at the college level. This is something that Juilliard itself is just beginning to implement, and we are doing it at the exact same time. So to speak to this program as a college preparation, our students are in the 7th grade, the 8th grade, and I would argue that they're getting a world-class college level experience.
Well, I think that you are totally right, Marcus, and from what I have observed, I think the professional level and attitude is working. And I'm so impressed with how focused the students are and how these young high school students are really directed and self-directed in making choices and making artistic choices as well as personal choices. And I love what you're saying about learning from the other, working in another art form. It's so important because we have so much learning to do, and there is such an interface. And as you move into the professional world, those worlds meld, and so the more you can know about it, the better. So oh, how great. You know, Marcus, I understand that you also have what you call college talks. Talk to us a little bit about that. What are the college talks?
Well, we want our students to understand that the skills that they're learning are completely transferable, and we want them to be able to take those skills and put them on a deserving platform. So we are hosting conversations, scouting the problems that perhaps they're running up against as they apply for colleges, as they decide what colleges to go to, and we're encouraging them. You know, we all come from Juilliard, and that's fantastic, and it worked for us, but perhaps they want to study with a specific teacher, and we can guide them to those resources, make connections with them. We've had some 38 teachers on the program now, so you can imagine the extent of our community across the country and the world. We have, I won't say an infinite number of resources, but really a pretty spectacular one that we want to give our students immediate access to.
What an amazing opportunity to be introduced to that network that will serve them through their professional lives. And I notice the friendships that are being built between the teaching artists and the students, and between the students from all over the community. And so that's a great outcome of this program as well. Marcus, thank you so much for all of your hard work in bringing this together and for the leadership that you are showing here every single day. So really fabulous. And you can see some of the images of our classrooms in action, and you can see the faces of the students, how engaged they are, how they're having fun learning. And let's listen to some of the voices of the students who are currently in the program. This is Christian. Christian is a junior in high school, and he is a cello and bass major. He's going to pick up the bass in the coming year, not only in the orchestra, but also in a jazz ensemble. And we are going to also hear from Erin. And Erin is a junior visual arts student, and she has spent 5 years in the program. And we're going to also, hear from Megan. And Megan is a junior drama student, and this is her first year in the program. And Megan, we're going to start with you. How is this program different from the arts programs that you might experience in your school? Megan, are you there? Okay. Let's go back and see if we can hear from Christian. Oh, Christian, can we hear from you?
Hello?
Hi, Christian.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. This is Christian, our junior in high school, who is a cello and bass major. So, Christian, let's hear from you.
Well, ever since day one, 4 years back, when I first started, I just walked in, had no clue what I would expect, and I was just mind blown because my whole entire world and music and everything I knew of arts was just flipped upside down, tossed side to side. It was incredible. For example, if it weren't for Riley, I wouldn't have the passion for music that I have right now. I wouldn't have grown to love what is jazz. I wouldn't have picked up, last year I picked up the bass in this camp. I didn't know what effect the bass would have on me till I got here. Because before that it was just cello, all classical. So many years practicing it, it became a part of me. But I'm the kind of person that seeks thrill.
Christian, we just lost your audio. I love that about the idea of being a thrill seeker and finding that thrill in jazz and flipping your world with the new discoveries that you've made here at the camp. How fabulous is that? So, Christian, are you back with us? Great.
Yeah. Yes. Hello.
Yes. Go ahead.
Hello.
Go ahead.
It's just amazing because it just feels like I knew absolutely nothing, and when I stepped through those doors the first day, a whole new universe of arts opened to me. Not only music, but drama. I learned how to control my shaking when I get on stage. I know how to talk on stage. I know how to speak my mind out to the people of the world on stage, because ever since I was little, I knew that was my home. I felt confident every time I stepped on a stage in front of a spotlight, people watching me. I knew that it's what I wanted to do for the rest of my life. I just didn't know exactly what. And through this camp, I have taken everything and put it all into one, so that I can use that in my jazz playing or my cello playing or in anything I do. It helps me for real life.
Excellent. Christian, that is great, and it sounds like you've got a real foothold on real life and what you want to do. We're going to turn and hear a little bit from Erin, and Erin is our junior high school student who is a visual art student. Erin has been in the program for 5 years, so she's had a lot of experience in the kinds of things that are happening here in the program. So Erin, are you with us? What we want to hear you talk about is, what does this program mean to you, and why are you participating? You've been here for 5 years. Why do you keep coming back?
Yeah, in previous years, this program has pushed me and inspired me to grow, basically. And since the first year, this program was introduced by Evan Todd and Miss Cochran way back in 2010, I've been motivated to accept human beings in their purest mindset. And I started as a 7th grader in the drama department. And then somewhere along my path between the program, I decided all of a sudden to experiment with the visual arts. And as soon as I decided to experiment, as soon as I was accepted into as a visual artist, the transition was smooth, and it gave me the opportunity to experience 2 sides of an amazing intensive. And really, this program is one of the most important contributing factors to my growth as not only an artist, but also as a human being. And I think that's why this is such a valuable tool for me. And also, I think that's why I return each year. And I really hope that I will continue to carry this with me wherever I go and in whatever I do. And that's really why I stay in the program, and I will for as long as I possibly can.
That is fantastic, and I love how by delving into a new art form, you really rounded out your arts experiences. So thanks so much for sharing that with us, Erin. And now we're going to turn to Megan, and Megan is a junior in high school. She's a drama student, and this is Megan's very first year in the program. In fact, she's only been here for 3 days, and so we want to hear, Megan, about how it's going for you, and how does this program seem different from what you do at school? And what do you think?
I really love the program so far. It's very different because at my school we stay at our set discipline, and we don't really venture off into if we're in dance, we don't venture off into drama and vocal. And this program has allowed me as a dancer to take acting and to take making noise class, and it's broadened my horizon.
That's what we're looking for, is broadening those horizons and making it be exciting in new ways. And so here's Megan, and we loved what you had to say as well. Thank you for sharing those thoughts. Let's go on and hear the voices of some of our alumni and some of the parents that have been observing and working in this program right along with their students. And so we're going to start by hearing from Morgan. And Morgan is just going to begin her college career at Eckerd College in St. Petersburg, Florida. She was 3 years in this program while she was at the Osceola School of the Arts as a drama student. And now when she moves on to Eckerd College, she's going to major in drama with a minor in gender studies. And here's something kind of cool about Morgan. This year she had the opportunity to intern at the Tony Award ceremony. So Morgan, how about it? This program, how has this program actually impacted you, maybe with your educational career, your hopes, your plans, your dreams, and your pursuit of those goals? Talk to us, Morgan.
Well, I did do the program for only the first 3 years, but they were very important years in my development of deciding what exactly I wanted to do career-wise and for the rest of my life. And so I wasn't sure if I really did want to pursue theater as a career. It's a tough business. You hear people say things about it all the time, but this program really inspired me and made me believe that I could do it by seeing all of these different students who were from Juilliard who were only a few years older than me, and they were getting able to do all of these different things and pursue their dreams of being in theater or in music, just being an artist in general. And as Marcus talked about earlier, the college talk, they did it one of the years, and I went, and it was very helpful to me personally, because you get to hear everybody's side of what they feel college could do for them and where you should go, and how one place might not be the best for you. You may not be able to thrive as well at, say, Juilliard as you would at a smaller school. It all depends on each person. It doesn't mean that you're not good enough. It just means that it may not be the right place for you. And that really helped me decide what I wanted to do for the rest of my life.
That is outstanding, Morgan, and I love what you said about how the students who weren't that much older than you and were here as teaching artists inspired you and allowed you to realize that you could follow your dreams even though you were young and you were in high school at the time. So this is a great aspect of the program, isn't it, where you have the chance to be working with college students who feel close to your age, and you can follow in their footsteps. Thank you, Morgan, for sharing that very much. And now we're going to turn to one of the program parents. She's been with the program for a number of years and has some transformational experiences of her own that she's going to share with us today. And so we're going to hear from Pam Haas, who is now, well, I'm not even going to tell you what she's doing now. Pam, you tell us a little bit about how this program has actually impacted you and your family.
Thank you so much, Dr. Palmer. My experience was actually the very first year of the program. My daughter was in the program, and I saw an amazing change in her and a transformation. And just to give you a little update on her, I mean, she actually followed in Evan Todd's footsteps, and for her senior year of high school went on to the University of North Carolina School for the Arts in their specialized senior program, and is now going to be attending the New School for Drama in Manhattan. She was also a Young Arts winner this year and was able to go down to Miami for that amazing experience. But seeing the transformation in her the first year, believe it or not, what I did is I actually started looking at becoming a teacher myself. And that very next summer, the very next fall after that, the summer program, I started teaching art at the elementary level, and now I'm actually a teacher with the START program.
That is
my fourth year.
That's fantastic, Pam. So you had what Marcus has been calling a collision. You collided with your inner self to find out that what was inside there was an art teacher, and you have been so amazing in your teaching. And you can see on the screen here there are some photos from the art class that Pam is working with, and you can see the exciting kinds of things that the students are doing. Thank you so much, Pam. And now we're going to turn to one of the self-named drama mamas. And this drama mama, Christine Garcia, has children in the program and has had children in the program, and she cares about having the arts for all kids. So Christine, thank you so much for being with us today. And tell us a little bit about your experience and how you think this program is an inclusive program.
Thank you very much. My daughter is in the program and has been since the inception, but what the draw of the program for me was the inclusive community that happens with all the students. They have a passion for the arts, so regardless of whether they have physical or cognitive limitations, that everybody is included and their strengths are showcased.
That is fantastic. How do you think that happens? I mean, what's causing this inclusive environment? The passion you mentioned and their strengths are recognized. Is there anything else? What can people who are listening to us do to foster that inclusive environment?
Is open up the programs for everyone to be included, and part of that is whether there are physical limitations. We have students that have some disabilities, or they could be ill at the time, that if they have that passion and that willingness to participate, to allow them to showcase their strengths, and I think to be with their peers brings that out in them.
Uh-huh. I think you're right. And you know, this whole idea of being together, I see that as I'm watching the students in their classes. They help each other, they work together, they think together, they perform together. So your perspective on the inclusiveness of the program is so important. And I know that you are actually the special needs specialist for the district schools, but it was your passion as a parent that grabbed you into this program first. So thank you so much for sharing with us, Christine. And now we're going to move to the voices of our Juilliard-trained teaching artists. We have some pretty amazing people here with us. The very first year with this program for Rose Annie Zayas, today is her third day of teaching with the program, and she too is a student at Juilliard and is in her first year with the program. So Rose Annie, let's hear from you. Why did you choose to participate in this program, and what do you think you will get out of your work here?
Hi, well, thank you for having me.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Well, I chose to participate in this program because I think you could really see it in the responses of Christian, Erin, Megan, and even Morgan, the way that it's impacted their lives and pretty much changed their views on theater and acting and drama and their majors. It's really life-changing, and it helps you get back down to the basics of really what theater and this community is for. It's for people to get to know each other and to help one another through art. And yeah, that's why I chose to be here, because I want to be a part of this community, and I want to be able to see the changes that we can all do for one another when we start to interact with each other and have fun, really.
Yeah, there's a lot to the idea of having fun as the basis for learning and moving forward. And so do you feel like this is advancing your education as well, Rosanne?
Oh yeah, definitely. Marcus said it before. I learn every day watching these kids about what it is to work together as a group, and also how I work in a group as well. It's just as much of a learning experience for the teachers here at the program as it is for the students. I guess one thing I've learned so far is, you know, the times are changing. Children are growing up faster and faster, and there's always a new way, or a funner way, or a more exciting way to communicate with people. There's always a new possibility out there for you to be able to go up to someone and speak to someone in a way that'll really affect them and really reach them in a great positive way. So, yeah.
What a wonderful thing for you to learn as a part of your experience in this program, because we're all on a learning journey together, and you are taking that journey and really paying attention to what's happening for you as well as for these students. So thank you so much, Rosanne, for sharing that with us. We really appreciate the opportunity to hear from you. And now we're going to hear from Riley Mulherker, and he is, as you can see, a trumpet player, and Riley has a very interesting background. He's in his 5th year of an accelerated bachelor's and master's program in jazz studies at the Juilliard School. And just this past May, he was awarded the Knowles Prize for Jazz and the Peter Menon Prize for Outstanding Achievement and Leadership in Music. He was born in Seattle, and he there received the Ella Fitzgerald Outstanding Soloist Award at the Essentially Ellington competition in 2010, and he was named a Rising Artist by educator and trumpeter Wynton Marsalis, and he has very much been actively engaged in educational outreach. Riley teaches at the Harlem School of the Arts as an Arts Enrichment Fellow from Juilliard, and he has taught in this program here in Osceola County for 4 years. So he's seen this program evolve and change. And so Riley, we want to hear from you, and we want to know about the artistic outcomes that you have experienced as a result of this program. And because you've been here for 4 years, what changes have you observed in the students who participate in this program? So Riley, welcome, and we're looking forward to hearing from you.
Well, Mary, thank you for the kind introduction, and thank you for having us here today. It's really a treat, and it's a treat to be back down here in Kissimmee for my 4th year with the program. 4 years ago, I came in with no idea what to expect, and worked with quite an interesting group of musicians with instrumentation ranging from cello to violin to trumpet, saxophone, piano, bass, drums, and we came up together and formed our own sort of improvising jazz ensemble, which was really extraordinary to see the transformative power of jazz and improvisation reach these eager students, and to see the changes in them that occurred over 2 weeks when they were able to stand up and take a solo, or when they were able to play a part that maybe they wouldn't have been able to play when they came in the program. And in the first year it was really extraordinary, and now 4 years later, I would say one of the most rewarding things I see are the way that the students who have been here for a few years have really emerged as leaders, and it creates this environment where we still have new students coming every year, and from day one, from the very first warm-up activity, they can feel the energy, they can feel this special commitment and investment in everything we do here. I have a teacher at Juilliard who calls it jumping off the precipice, and we do that every day. We do that in every class, and that's what makes this program so special. And the commitment to jumping off that precipice, taking risks, whether it's a jazz solo or whether it's in movement class or making noise, singing, or whatever it may be, the energy and investment from all the students, I think I've seen get stronger and stronger every year.
Fantastic, Riley, and I'm hoping that the program will go on for many more years, because there are such transformational and exciting things that are happening here, and they're happening because of people like Riley and Rose Annie and Debbie and Marcus and all of you. So thank you for being a part of us today, and we look forward to seeing you again soon. So goodbye from all of us, but you won't want to click off yet, because Riley is going to play us out with some trumpet music. So Riley, take it away.